Perfect. We'll get started. So I appreciate you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to come to the community workshop to talk about the Ortega dog facility. I'll give a chance for Luis. So again, my goal is not to keep you in here till 8 o'clock tonight. We would just like to give you the information, allow you to provide your questions, allow you to ask questions and provide your input. This meeting is recorded, so we will be posting it online and allowing other individuals that are not present in this meeting to not only get the chance to get the information and then participate in our survey. So again, thank you for those of you that did make it to us in person. So my name is Kimberly Corbin. I'm the Associate Engineer with the City of Oceanside and managing the project for the Ortega dog facility on the city side. So with me tonight, I have our Parks and Rec Director, Manny Gonzalez. I'd like to give him a chance to introduce himself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited you joined us to give your input. This opportunity to really create a cohesive project along the city and to incorporate an element of you are listening to slowly the mission side. Took place to control the video to one.
Thank you, Manny. And then just because I've seen him walk in right now, this is our Parks and Rec Division Manager, Mark Wilson. I'd like to give him a chance to introduce himself as well. Sorry. Your timing will be back.
Hey everybody, my name is Mark Wilson, Parks and Rec Division Manager. Thanks everyone for coming. It's been a long process to get to this point. We of course get feedback. It's not this project. It's going to be everyone's meeting and support.
And then also with us is KTUNA. They're our design consultant responsible for the design of the Ortega Park, so I will allow them to introduce themselves.
My name is Jared Brewer with the team.
And then for the start, I'm the project manager on the
Tonight, we will be discussing the project history and background, the project scope, site analysis, and implementation. We will present the concept designs. We'll leave some time for questions and discussions, and at the end of the meeting, we will open it up for public input. It is designed so that you will basically either participate in a paper survey or an online survey as you walk out. So some background on this project: the City of Oceanside first and only off-leash dog facility closed in 2018, leaving the City of Oceanside with no dog facility, no place to take our four-legged friends. What that has led to is the City of Oceanside residents either going to other cities to take their four-legged friends run, or unlawfully taking them off-leash in our City of Oceanside Park. So City Council approved a dog facility study as part of the capital improvement program budget for fiscal year 21-22. What we discovered in the dog facility study, we did surveys and public outreach. So we wanted to understand from the public in those surveys what they were looking for in a dog facility and where best to put a dog facility within an existing park. So that survey and public outreach showed us a couple things. One of those that emphasized the urgent need for a dog facility and the necessary that the public wanted to see more than one in the city of Oceanside. The survey resulted in top four locations. That's Bunny Todd Park, future site of El Corazon Park, Mansfield Canyon Park, and Ron Ortega Park. So for those of you that have been involved with the El Corazon Park Site 1 public outreach, I'm here to inform you that there is plans to include a dog facility within Park Site 1 as well. But as you all are aware, we're here for the Ron Ortega Dog Facility Park. So why did we choose Ron Ortega Park? It was selected because there's approximately 2.8 acres of vacant, unprogrammed, and underutilized space. So that is that space shown in the orange dashed line. There's minimal additional infrastructure that's required. So there's existing restrooms on the site, there's irrigation systems on site, and there's parking. So those are the two gray boxes, and then there's also the parking over by Brook Street, which you see on the top of this room. In addition, there's also multiple entry points. One of those entry points being very close to the dog facility, which allows us to have a separate dog facility entrance. In addition, it will bring positive programming for the park. The other nice part about this park is it's directly off the 5 freeway. So in essence, it is relatively easy to get to for different parts of Oceanside. The scope of the project includes development up to the 2.8 acres. When we received your feedback from the surveys of the public for the dog facility study, we saw that several individuals wanted off-leash fence for large and small dogs. So that is planned for in this area. We also saw that there was a want for seating, shade structures, and drinking fountains. So we are including those as well. In addition, we will be adding lit accessible sidewalks to the dog fence from that parking lot. And we're doing landscape and drainage improvements within those 2.8 acres. So what does this project not include? At this time, we're not looking at parking lot expansion, restroom renovations, or upgrades to the existing baseball fields. I urge you, for those of you that are interested in those projects, that you talk with our council members about getting those projects into the budget season. We are getting into the budget season for the next fiscal year. So this is the time to bring those projects forward, but unfortunately, the money is currently scoped out for just the development of up to 2.8 acres for the dog facility. So just some information about the Ron Ortega Dog Facility. The dog facility and Ron Ortega Park is part of the former Maxon Street landfill. Maxon Street landfill was operated from 1961 to 1969 and was ultimately closed in 1971. If you see that red line, those are the lines of the landfill. So everything on the little side of that red line are what that landfill composed of. All of those green triangles, purple triangles, red dots, all those extra little dots you see, those are all monitoring equipment surrounding the park. So when we came up with the concept that you'll see tonight, you'll see that we're designing around them. One of the other things we wanted to keep in consideration is that we're adjacent to baseball fields and batting cages. So baseball fields, you have children playing on them. We do not want the dogs to be a distraction to the kids. So in addition, you're in the home run territory of these baseball fields. So we wanted to make sure that we considered those both in the design. In addition, we're adjacent to residential areas, so lighting became very important. So what you see tonight is those are considerations that we looked into. In addition, and it's hard to see on this slide, but there is a portion of that 2.8 acres, what we staff call the landing strip. You can see it in Google Maps, but it is currently used to play a game called Pelota Mixteca. It's a game of walking origins, and it It's something that we chose that we wanted to preserve. The city of Oceanside embellishes diversity and love to appreciate our culture. So that was something that we wanted to keep in mind when we came up with the design, that we wanted to make sure that spot was not eliminated. It isn't something that our Parks and Rec department currently advertises, but it's something that is currently being used out there. So we wanted to preserve that area with this design. So some things with the fact that this is a former landfill is that we have quite a bit of regulatory agency oversight, which limits what we can and cannot do with the facility. So those regulatory agencies are the San Diego Regional Water Quality Control Board, the San Diego County Air Pollution Control District, the County of San Diego Department of Environmental Health and Quality. So prior to awarding this project to KTUA, the city went out to these regulatory agencies to verify that a dog facility could be built in this area. We confirmed that information before awarding the contract. But what we wanted to do was dig a little bit deeper and learn about what we can offer and what we can't offer. So we went through all the design concepts. We spent the last 3 months working with the regulatory agencies to come up and present you an option that can be feasibly done on landfill. So I'd like to turn it over to our design consultant to go through those limitations that the regulatory agencies have.
Stated there being on some landfill clearance requirements. First one is monitoring requirements. If you're familiar with the site, you probably recognize the monitoring walls. They're surrounded by 3 vertical type walls. There's some strength throughout the site. So like you should kind of phrase if it's about an area below Dallas from and really from a part also what to be pretty clear about this it's on site backwards. The trees on site are going to need to be have root structure to stay more close to the surface of the soil. They not that gives you the waste material at all. In terms of surface requirements, consistent drainage soil that runs
Here.
How much you can.
all right, so there's an existing drainage swale on site that needs to be protected. You also can't change the existing slopes very much. You also have to reduce the water that seeps into the landfill. In terms of the surface material for the dog park, stabilized decomposed granite is what is going to be. That means material, stabilized materials basically contain specific types of rock that's comprised of different sizes, and they use a stabilizer to compact a really stabilized surface. So it's not the same as just soil that just moves around. It's a lot harder. This complies with the regulatory agencies to require also requires your confidence. In terms of some non-compliant materials that we looked at, and we spoke with the different regulatory agencies about grass, sod, turf, any of those, because they require a lot of and regular water use and also maintenance. That is not a good option for the site. Additionally, we may have seen some dog parks that have wooden a lot of this. That's the requirements for site purposes, for the existing developments, change the fence on site, or all of those, so that's like the fence that we can use for the dog pens. And we also be looking at lighting internal to the dog pens that would like to be so. The reason is that you have to be very careful from the standpoint of the conduit that will be able to get into the light. Don't spend so very nice license. Those specified also the reason to make sure that they can accommodate when the soil subsides over there as the trash decomposes, the soil elevation changes a little bit, so we're going to be pretty creative about how we approach that. And also in terms of furnishings like benches and trash receptacles and drinking fountains, they will be following city and Oceanside public works standards. So the two photos that you see at the bottom part of the slide, the bench, there's definitely going to be benches provided, but it will follow the standards. So that's just representing the bench. And also for drinking fountains, the sign of you've probably seen dog drinking fountains. It's adjacent to the ground. So we'll definitely be providing some of those and also some drinking fountains for humans as well.
I think we're here. Okay. So I hope to walk through the concept that we will need and put on. It's based on all of the regulatory agency requirements and restrictions. These are the concepts we have developed for the dog safety. So the purple and yellow one you can see here, and the plans is dictated by the location of those big landfill utilities that was really in their attention. So those cannot be exposed to the dog and have to like breathe their way through where those are located. In this concept, you can see the large dog pen is much larger than the small dog pen, and is also kind of divided into two sections based on use. That second section, the additional 0.46 acres, can be either opened or closed. Some of the additional items that we would like to propose are an ADA accessible sidewalk connecting to Country Club Lane, as well as to the parking lot and to the entries of both dog pens. As Jared mentioned, there's a stormwater swell that runs through the middle of the site that does need to be maintained in a second place. You can see along the edge of the large dog pen and in the dog pens, we are showing some low water trees. Those are both to provide shade and also some sort of visual walk from the existing baseball fields. Throughout the site, we're proposing low water use landscape planting, which will primarily be along walkways and entrances. The plazas in each of the dog pens are going to be shade structures. They'll have a dual gate system as well as waste receptacles and the dog and water fountains. The entire development will be, as Jared mentioned, surrounded by chain link fences, and will have the pedestrian entrances as well as some entrances for maintenance vehicles and urban needed. Throughout the site, we're also proposing pedestrian scale lighting along the walkways, as well as large scale area lights and the dog fence. We also have a concept, both concepts fully translated into Spanish. So if anyone would like to look at these more closely, I can flip back to these slides at the end of the presentation. Then for concept 2, both the large and small dog pens are much closer in size. Still, the fences around the pens have to weave between the utilities, and most of the amenities on site are the same. We still have the plazas with shade structures, trash receptacles, water fountains, as well as the dual gate system, swell standards in the middle of the site, and having ADA access is connected to Country Club Lane and the parking lot. And again, this concept 2 from Spanish that we can flip back to at the end of the presentation. So this is another item that we need your input on. The shade structure that will be located in those plazas, we have a couple options. Again, these are representational, this is exactly what they look like. But we can include either a solid metal structure or a shade cell structure. Some pros and cons of each. Generally, the roof will have a longer lifespan, and requires less maintenance. The shade cell, generally, those shades do need to be replaced approximately every 7 to 10 years. And the pro of having this kind of shade structure is that as the landfill material settles, if those posts settle slightly differently, it won't cause any major structural issues. And one additional item is that we do have the option to include dog agility equipment. These are some examples of what that may look like. And we would love to hear from you whether you would like to see this kind of equipment included in the dogs. So we will need your input. We're going to be passing around a survey at the end of the presentation, and you can either fill out that survey, the paper version, or you can complete it online by going to the QR code or link that will be. So again, thank you, and now we're happy to answer any questions or comments you may have.
If you do have any questions or answers, I do apologize, but I'd like you to come up to the podium. That is so that, as I mentioned, this meeting is being recorded. And so I would like the people, when this gets posted online, to be able to hear your questions and answers. We are also looking, so we do have the survey to get your feedback, but if you do want to give any feedback at this time in front of this group and get those questions and comments responded to, we will take those as well. So at this time, you can just kind of walk up to the podium to ask your questions, and we're here all to answer those questions.
Oh, yeah, okay, it works. My name is Clinton Knowles. I live at 20 Saratoga Street, just about maybe 5 blocks from the facility. I was here at the city council meeting and was very concerned about being able to provide those folks who play that game access, because that's probably all they have. And I want to thank you for taking that in. I was very surprised to see that's been included. Also, I just have a couple of questions. I've got my experience with that facility. I was president of Little League for 14 years. So I've got a couple of questions. No upgrade to the restrooms. That needs to be really looked at. I mean, those restrooms are closed half the time now. They're not open 24/7. They're locked up, and the transients that are there that come by there and make a mess outside, as you're well aware. That needs to be looked at, because I wouldn't let my wife, grandson, or I wouldn't let. There are times I wouldn't let them go inside that. When baseball's being played, people in the Little League do an outstanding job trying to keep it up. So who's going to take care of that? That's my question. Who is going to monitor that? Planting trees is fine. Then again, I think it's a great idea. Transient time. You know, that area, if you go over 30 minutes after they turn the lights off on the field, there's issues. I didn't hear anything about security and how that's going to be addressed. The trees, lighting, the restrooms. I've had dogs. I truly think it's a great idea. Not condemning. there. Types of benches, and I'll fill out. Thank you for your time. Were there, did you have any questions?
No, thank you. I appreciate you giving those comments. It is something, like I said, it's not included in this scope of work, but it is, we are as a city aware that things like upgrades to the existing ball fields, the restroom, that is also as well, transient population. Those are things that will need to be addressed before this project gets.
We upgraded these fields years and years ago with the Padres, San Diego Padres were involved in upgrading these fields. The big question was the maintenance. We can build it, and it can look pretty, it'd be a nice thing, but who's going to take care of it? So I think through just my opinion is to community involved in the ownership. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Ginger. So it sounds like you guys have some challenges that you have to work with, especially being the former landfill. Unfortunately, it sounds like to me that the dog parks, I'm glad that we're looking at this, and I know that this has been the works for a while. Because I've taken part in some of the other surveys prior to this. But it sounds like it's just another piece of land for the dogs to run free. There's something interesting about it, where if you go to South Plano Park, yes, South Plano Vista, that's an awesome park. It's a great park because it's interesting. The dogs have foliage to run through. They have a stream, although I'm not going in the stream because it gets dirty and nasty. But it's an interesting place. The dogs have hills to run on. The people have places to walk around. Children are on a playground that is enclosed so that the dogs can't go on the playground. So the children are enclosed. Anyways, unfortunately, like I see the problems that you guys are up against, but there's nothing interesting about a piece of land that the dogs can be free. So I don't know if I would love to be able to go there, but I wouldn't go there, especially when I have South Plano to go to. But you know, a dog beach would be more to our liking. I have 2 huskies, and they have a lot of energy, and so running through the wooded area of Vista Park is better. That was my sense.
Awesome. Thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate that. We'll definitely take a look at South Plano Vista, the park, and see if we can introduce any of those concepts into the conceptual designs. What you'll see on the survey is we'll basically just be asking concept 1, concept 2. There's not really a space for you to provide the input that you just gave, so I really appreciate you giving that input tonight. Like I said, we're at the very beginning of our public outreach. There will be another public outreach event associated with this dog facility. So that's when we'll start diving into a little bit of the specifics. But again, I appreciate getting to know that information ahead of time and kind of things to look out for and things to make this more exciting. And I appreciate you understanding the challenges that we have up ahead.
Charles Morgan, District 2 resident. I'll start by echoing the comments that you specifically asked about should we adopt agility items. I think that's one of the ways that we're going to think about it. I have some questions about layout. I showed I didn't quite understand that, so in this map, the large dog pen is on the left. That's what my dog is. And it looks like there is a fence separates the two areas. So it looks like we're gonna have two distinct areas in the large development here. And I wanted to clarify if I'm understanding that correctly. And the reason that I'm asking about this, my concern is, given the blue shape of that, I don't ever want to be out of line of sight range of my dog. So I love the design, but I would want containerization between those two areas so that if I was on one side, my dog would get out of line of sight. So am I understanding correctly that there's going to be a fence and a gate that separates those two areas?
Line going kind of between that narrow area and there to the side. Because that was the same thought that we had, is that we don't want someone on one side of the shape of our to have the dog all the way on the other side and not be able to get to them, not be able to see them. So we would like for that to be able to be open or closed. And so people can have better access to where the dog is, but still allow for a large area. For
I would say that, you know, some dog parks have like an actual like two-gate system between, you know, coming in and competition getting in. That's what I'd like to see in there, so that somebody could just accidentally dog in and then all the dog owners on one side, out running on the other side. I like that one. The second question that I have is knowing my dog, it would be very exciting if when he is playing baseball on the baseball field. So I see you guys have some trees here. Is there any sort of additional plant screening or, you know, tarp that's going to be put up on the fence in the dog area in baseball to kind of screen the dogs from the kids and the kids from the dogs?
I think there will be a part of the fence, but I think we, additional energy can be added to it. I think also we yeah, so it is a bit minor. I think it's from what we had previously was more of an issue of the kids being distracted by the dogs, but both sense is in point. Yeah, I think part of it is that the slope up to the field was not allowed. We can definitely add some more screening.
The next question I have is you alluded to the benches will be oceanside parks flat. I will share that I don't know what that standard is, but I do know what the standard benches are on the site. And as a dog owner, I would want to take my dog here for 30 to 45 minutes, let him run off his energy out, having him back on the bench is very nice. So you should make an example that this may not be the park. The last question, are there any shade structures, even small structures like we got it off the bus stops or side that are planned for the benches? Because like as a dog owner, I would love to take my dog here for 45 minutes and just let it run. But I'm also going to get paid a lot if I sit out there on benches without shade structures. So is there any shade structures planned for the benches that you guys have?
We can definitely move into climate fence. Again, there's some issue with making sure that the footings don't go into the landfill. But I think we definitely could add some shade to the benches.
As a District 2 resident, we are going to be driving. Excited about this. Thank you guys. Glad to know. And of course, I hope you have a meeting director consider expansion. We're jealous.
So those were fantastic points, so I appreciate that. Again, like I said in our survey, we don't allow opportunity for those types of comments. If additional comments do come up, my email is associated with those. Please feel free to send me your thoughts via email if needed. Again, like I said, we'll come back again. Again, I'm so glad that you guys are coming up and giving me those pieces of input. So thank you.
Let me know how high the fence will be. We have a lot of coyotes in our neighborhood. A lot.
going to be more fence.
That is not control. You need about an 8-foot fence. You need about an 8-foot fence.
I'm very glad you brought that up. Did not really say anything, but you were here.
I walk down the street, so, yeah. Yeah, yeah, we need to be really a tall fence. They go over 6-foot fence for both. So we have, like 10 feet below our property. So, are you going to also have the ability to have, bags for the dog groups? Yes, okay, like the beach? And I think,
You will be present there.
speaking of the beach, just a question that you guys might be thinking about is, will there be a dog beach in Oceanside? In this,
Sorry, I believe
You have to make the answer into that question.
at the end of the back with the shirt.
so thank you for your time.
We have large, extra large. So whatever you can do to maximize the large dog areas of the dogs, they're pretty good. But big dogs get bumpy and they'll run and they roll and all kinds of things. So the more you can maximize your large dog space, I'm not too worried about that one separating, by the other, that's. Also, I agree with making it interesting. My dogs will go out there and it's just a bunch of dirt, maybe run, or I don't even know if they'll run, they'll be bored.
So activities are good, even just making the landscape, I know maybe trip hazards, you're worried about people tripping, but even just like little mounds where they could play King of the Hill, or a little safe river, I don't know, anything, put one plant in the middle, don't all on it, I mean, that would be exciting. They wanna smell stuff, there, a bunch of DG is gonna be boring. And humans are just gonna walk around and get dirt. So anything you can do to make it somewhat interesting, the activity thing, some dogs would like that, at least it'll be something interesting to go sniff. But even just plants, like little, like really hardy plants that won't hurt an animal. In a couple of places, it'll be at least intriguing. A little walkway, like a little cement walkway for even humans to just sort of walk around, kind of like Encinitas community dog park has done. South Buena Vista is very unusual, it's a very special place. Because it's surrounded by residents up top. And the dog park is down below, and so the hillside makes a natural sort of bowl. It doesn't actually have any fencing, and it's all for the dogs, and the humans are well. So anything you can make it to be a little more interesting like that, I think would be where you will get the most purchase. Otherwise, I feel that a lot of people will continue what they're doing is finding green spaces and using that inappropriately with their dogs. I want people to go to this, I hate for you to waste all your time and money and then not get a lot of purchase because it's sort of boring. So anyways, those are my 2 cents, but I think it's a great idea. It's a long time coming. Thank you. Anything else?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Donna, I appreciate that. Again, you make some very good points. One of the things I do want to mention, she said it was a long time coming. So one of the things I did need to mention is that we do currently have funding for the design of the dog park. Right now, there is no funding for construction. So again, it's another point that I urge you to go to our council members, help continue, to urge, to emphasize the need of a dog facility within Oceanside. We'll get about 50% there. We'll need your guys' help to get to 100%. We understand, as Glenn mentioned, there's needs of the park that are ancillary to this project as well. And so again, I urge you as a resident to go to your community members, community council members, and really urge the necessary improvements to this area and bring us that dog facility. I know there are individuals here that want that dog beach as well. So I appreciate you coming in to support a dog facility as well. So thank you. Again, please come and ask your questions. Like I said, we have the QR codes, we have paper surveys for those of you that are not as tech savvy. The QR code, you just go to your camera on your phone and it will take you to the link to the survey. Again, my information is on the survey, it's on the slide as well. So you can email me any additional comments. So like I said, this is our preliminary outreach meeting. We're getting initial feedback, trying to understand the design, what you guys are looking for, and then we can progress from there. So again, if there's any more questions or comments, please come to the podium. I appreciate your help, support, and getting us this dog facility in the city of Oceanside.
We also will have small cards on the back table when you leave. I will have the link to the online survey as well as the QR code if you want to share that with anyone who wants to.
Just so you're aware, the paper survey and the online survey is identical. The only difference on the paper survey is the legend isn't there on the concept. You'll see the legend on the electronic survey. Oops, sorry, thank you.
My name is Theodore Hahn. I just wanted to add an additional comment. For option one, I feel there should be a circular timeout area or training area for dogs that may not be fully equipped or need some type of training. Just a comment, that's all. I'm glad to see that this part is coming to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you for having that.
Again, I'll piggyback on, if we adopted a dog that was socialized, and even just having, like a 10x5 area that we could take the dog and stand there beside the main area where he's not with the rest of the dogs, but could be there beside and used to the other dogs. Like, our dog is socialized now, it's daycare, the dogs, but when we adopted it, it wasn't there yet. So we keep all the training, I'll call it just socialization of marriage, like organization. It doesn't need to be big, it's just kind of down on the side of 10x10x5.
Hi, Mr. Governor, one-time resident. I have a question for you guys. KTUA, you guys did the master plan back in 2018, is that?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, what's the reason you guys didn't recommend this? You recommended, Capistrano, South Ocean,
question, but I don't know.
Okay, because I was looking at possibly because it, you have all these restrictions because of the landfill, you have there. I know that place for 60 years myself, so, okay, so going forward, are there gonna be hours and like a park ranger sometimes? Well, that's not for you guys. And since, not only with the coyotes, but the homeowners. Is that gonna be like something? I mean, it's gotta require the AP for that. But is that part of the design? I've got to look at the industry.
I don't know how to put that down.
Yeah, the plan is just for make certain timelines, et cetera. Right now, we're all documents run out there. It's from recording with the CD and program for the potential home run distance and to make sure it's safe.
For baseball field. I think that could be part of the reason why you guys didn't put it on the master plan recommendation. But also the other gentleman that mentioned about the security monitoring, what's going to happen after you close up, because that is the big time homeless area there. Just a little concerns I have. They can.
Just a little bit of information regarding the baseball fields, and I want to correct me if I'm wrong, but the existing baseball field that is currently shown, that concept is a little league field. I believe the age range to, you know, the age range. Well, so it is for the younger kids, so that we are aware of that information. As far as the other existing baseball fields, as you can see, they're not shown in the conceptuals. They're much farther away from the facilities. So our biggest concern right now is that closest field. Again, it's up to 12 years old. One of the things to also kind of help prevent balls from going there, I'm not offering a 14, 15 foot fence to that may be visually not exciting. That's why we're also looking at vegetation to be that barrier. So again, we're looking at kids that are 12 years old, up to 12 years old. But we will continue to look into what those home run distances truly are. So thank you both.
One small fields to the other, with the equipment available now, since we're getting home runs into the other. And on the larger field, it's a small baseball.
To look at that. We have met with the ocean in the past regarding their concerns for this project. We will make sure to get back with them to really understand where they're seeing these home run fields along with current technology. Appreciate that. And we'll keep those considerations. We want to make sure that it's safe for the dogs and the nurses. Any more individuals that have any more questions, comments, concerns? Again, we have business cards in the back with the QR code. Feel free to take that. That'll give you access to the survey as well. You can also pass those around. Again, we have those paper surveys. If you don't have any questions or comments, don't feel like I'm pulling you up, but again, if you do have comments, concerns, we do want to hear them, so please come up to the podium. I do apologize, we just want to make sure that that recording is available to you.
If I could just mention, next week, on Tuesday, November 14th at 6 o'clock here in council chambers, we'll have our recommendation. So some of the things that were mentioned, capital projects outside of the scope of this project. Commission, which will provide recommendations that will provide for the capital projects for the next year. So, available 6 o'clock next Tuesday.
When is there a city action?
It's going to be possible to determine on Wednesdays, so the next one will be
Every month.
Thank you. And then for those of you who you saw on the survey and on the paper survey, I am asking for your name and email and to see if you want to be added to our interested parties list. If you have not already, I sent a reminder about the rec commission and the city council meetings that is earlier in the day. Again, we appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. There's, like I said, there's no more comments, questions, concerns. You're free to go. Again, if you think of something, you walk out and go, I wanted to ask that question, send me an email. Thank you again.
What's the name? Are you gonna help me? Gracias.
No, I knew you were
I got it. Really, what are you doing? Yeah, someone gave you.
Oh, yeah, we're.